Alright, so let's think backwards. Again, these are the zeros of the function. We're trying to create whatever function it was. How would we write a binomial if we were going to get the answer of 5? What now? Yeah, x minus 5. Because if we were to set x minus 5 to 0, we would get what? 5. Everybody see that? So how would we write negative 2 as a binomial? Good. And negative 1 as a binomial? Good. You just changed the signs. Everybody see that? Any questions about that? Alright, so now we're trying to put it in a polynomial. We don't want it in factored form. So we're going to have to do what? Multiply, right? Alright, how would we multiply these? Yeah, but you can only fold how many binomials? 2. So let's do that first. We're just going to bring this x plus 1 down. And we're going to fold these 2 binomials. So my first term would be what? Outer. 2x, good. Inside. Good. Last terms. My last terms. Minus 10, good. Do I need to review how to fold again? Okay. My first terms is just talking about the first 2 terms in my binomial. So this first term is x, this one's x. So x times x is x squared. My outer terms is going to be the outside of each binomial. So x times a positive 2. That's going to make plus 2x. Inside is literally the inside of each one. So negative 5x. Then the last term is the last term in each binomial. Negative 5 and 2 make negative 10. Does everybody remember that? Okay. So how do we simplify this one? Just combine the middle, right? So we'd have x squared, what? Minus 10, x plus 1. Oh, I forgot. Anybody have their birthday polynomial they want to turn in? Yeah, you don't have to do it right now. Just at the end of class, make sure you turn it in the second period then. Okay? Just at the end of class, we'll do that again. I'll remind you. Okay. So from here, how would we multiply these? First, we'd have to distribute. Okay, we could do that. We could either distribute all of these terms to these 2, or we could distribute these terms to all 3 of these. So would you like to distribute the trinomial or the binomial? Trinomial? Okay. So we're going to have to multiply each term in here by what? X squared. And then we'll multiply everything in here by negative 3x. And then everything by negative 10. So let's start with x squared. What's x squared times x? And x squared times 1? Good. Any questions about that part? My next 2 terms would be what? Good. And then minus 3x. Very good. My last 2? And then good. And now all we have to do is simplify it. Sorry, I'm writing really big. I'll write this up here at the top. Alright, what's my biggest term? And I'm talking about as far as exponents. X cubed, we'll write that first. It doesn't have any like terms, correct? X cubed. And then the x squared, if I combine them, I'll have what? Negative 2x squared. Very good. And then, good, negative 13x. And last, negative 10. Good. That's it. Any questions about that? Alright, on your test, hold on one second, Jared. I'm going to show you how to check this. And you don't have to do this on the test, but I would suggest doing it. Because, like I said, you can check if you're correct or not. If you check it and it's not correct, go back and try it again. Don't just settle with getting it wrong and getting the answer wrong. Go ahead and check it yourself. Make sure it's correct before you turn in your test. Yes, Jared?
I don't get how you got at the bottom.
This part?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
I get how you go what's above it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you got
Oh, okay. So we had to distribute, and we distributed the trinomial. We had to distribute x squared to both of these terms, and that's how we got these two. Because x squared times x is what? Good. X squared times 1? Good. Then after we distribute that to each term, we have to move on to this one, distribute it to each term. And then you do the negative 10. Any other questions before I teach you how to check it? Alright, let me see your calculator stuff. Alright, so how would we check these? You can just take one of these numbers, or all of them if you would like, and plug these in for x into this one to see if it gives you what? 0. Good. Pick one number. I don't care which one. 3? Wait, one of the zeros. 5. Okay. So all you have to do is type in your calculator 5 instead of x cubed. Go ahead and try it on your own if you have it. So that way on the test you won't say, how do you do this again? Alright, and I like to hit enter so that way it won't get jumbled up. So enter. Minus 2 times, and then in parentheses put 5 squared. Enter. And then minus 13 times 5, so minus 13, parentheses 5, minus that 10. And it gives you what? Good, we've done it correctly then. And you could check all three if you wanted to, but it's pretty much if one of them works, then you've probably done it correctly. Do I need to go back over how to type that in the calculator? Alright, you want me to do another number this time?
Negative 2.
Negative 2? Okay.
What are you supposed to give for your answer?
0. Alright, let's do negative 2. So parentheses, negative 2, you need to put the cubed on the outside. Enter. Minus, and then the 2. And this one, with a negative number, if you square it, if you don't put the square on the outside, it messes up, right? Alright, let's see what happens.
So
Negative.
Why'd you do negative 2 or minus 2?
We're plugging in this 0. We just plugged in 5, now we're just doing negative 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So negative 2, and then we're right here. So squared on the outside, enter. Minus 13 times negative 2, and then the minus 10, and it'll give you 0. Is everybody okay? Alright. Do you think you could try number 2 on your own? Alright, go ahead and do that. And then we'll go over the answer together. If you want to talk to your partners and like get them to help you out, you can, to people around you. Or you can ask me for help if you need it. I'm going to fold these two. I just brought this one down. And then this one, the last terms. Yes, because I see what.
This should be see how when I multiply it, I multiply these two numbers. Which you have this squared, there's 7x squared, and we don't have. You have 12x, you have 25x, and you have 35x. It's the 7x squared and 35x. I would just go back and multiply back out. Right, yeah, first. Wait, how do you get x plus 5? This should be x plus 5.
Alright, let's go over this one together. Nothing? That's correct.
Did?
I think I might have calculated it wrong.
Gotcha. Alright, so Tatiana, if you'll tell me the two, I'll get it in a second, the three binomials I need. Good. Questions so far? Okay, did y'all fold these first two and just bring this one down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we'll do then. X minus 5. Alright, John, tell me what I get if I fold it out.
X squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12.
Good. Questions so far? Everybody's got this part? Okay, we can simplify this by making it x squared plus what? Good. Plus 12. X minus 5. Did y'all distribute these three terms to the second one? Okay, that's what we'll do. So, Amy, if you'll tell me what I get if I distribute just the x squared.
X cubed minus 5x squared.
Good. CJ, if you'll tell me what I get when I just distribute the 7x.
7x squared minus 35x.
Good. Chloe, if you'll just tell me what I get when I distribute the 12.
12x minus 16.
Good. Is everybody okay so far? Yes. Okay. So which term is going to be first? X cubed. Does it have any like terms? Alright, my x squareds.
2x.
Good. That would make 2x squared. And then my x's would make what?
Maybe 23.
Good. And then I have what? Good. That's it. And I'll show you how to check it if you're interested. Anybody have questions about how we got it? Go ahead, Zach.
How do you get the 2x squared?
Right here. Did you get negative 5x squared plus 7x squared? Okay. So negative 5 plus 7 will be what? 2. And then you just bring down the x squared. You just add their coefficients. Any other questions? All right. Let me see your Seth. Okay. Which number do you want to plug in? 5. Okay. So let me go up here. Alright, so you would type in 5 cubed, 5 cubed, enter, plus 2, and then 5 squared, enter, minus 23 times 5, minus 60. Everybody good with those? Okay. Here you go. Alright, now let's look at number 3. Notice it's different because we have an I in there, correct? Alright, let's go ahead and write this one just as 2 binomials. That'd be what?
X plus 1.
And we could write x plus 1 squared, right? But we're going to have to pull it out anyways, so we might as well just write it twice. Okay. The 2i, let's think about how we would get 2i, right? What would we have to do to get the answer 2i? Alright, let me write this up here. You don't have to write this part down. We would have to take the square root of -4, correct? And the square root of x squared. Now let's go backwards. Okay, so if we take the square root away, we'll get what? Good. We're not taking the square root, just going backwards, taking it away. Okay, now let's set it equal to 0. So what would we have to do? Add 4. So it'd be x squared what? Good, that's going to be the binomial that we use. Everybody good with that?
Is that what we would do in x minus 9 if we did x squared plus 1?
Yes. So if it was, let me go to this one right quick, just jumping down. -3i, it would need to be what?
X squared
Plus 9. Good. Alright, so let's write this up here, x squared plus 4. And now we do the same thing. We're going to have to fold 2 of them, right? Let's leave this one alone for right now. X squared plus 4. Alright, Jackson, tell me what I get if I fold this one. Good. 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 Plus. Good. 1 and 1, you're multiplying, not adding. Good. Alright, so if we simplify, we'll get x squared plus what? 2x plus 1, x squared plus 4. Everybody good so far? Okay. Now we just need to multiply. So, tell me what I'll get, Abigail, if I distribute x squared to both of these terms. Very good. Perfect. Alright, Evelyn, what am I going to get if I do 2x times both of these?
2x.
And? Very good. Stacy, what am I going to get if I distribute a 1 to both of these?
X squared plus 1.
Perfect. And you don't have to do this if you want to, but I'm going to work out my number 4 down here because it's pretty lengthy. So I'm just going to write this answer up here. Alright, so what's my first term going to be? Good. Then I'll have what? 2x cubed. Then what? Very good. Next. Good. Plus. Perfect. Any questions about that one? Alright. I want to show you how to check it by plugging in 2i to this one, okay? Remember that your I button is above your what? No. The dot. If you're using this one. Alright, so let me show you how to plug it in. Zoom out some. We're going to plug in 2i for this one. So, put in parentheses 2, second, and then your dot button should have I to the 4th. Is everybody okay with that? Hit enter. Plus 2, and then 2i to the 3rd. Oops. Plus 5 and then 2i squared plus 8 times 2i plus 4. So you can check it with the I button also if you would like. Everybody good with that? Okay. You go, Seth. Any questions about that one? All right, try 5 on your own. Number 5. And we'll go over it together. If you have questions, please raise your hand so I can help you. Or if you want to just check your answer, just raise your hand and I'll come check it.
What should take the square root of 2? Not 6. On this one, if we did take the square root, this would be x equals what? What's the square root for? Angle. Do what? Yeah. We need plus or minus, right? So the root could be 2i or negative 2i. Same thing with this one. They just don't give you both roots.
Is this when you set it up for this negative for that?
What would you have to take the square root of to get negative 3i? Okay, let's go backwards. X squared, you'd be have to take the square root of negative 9, right? So let's go back. Let's turn it back into a minus. We have to do what?
Squared plus 8 plus 9, yeah.
Yeah, that's it right here. To change that to plus 9.
Okay.
Change losses to the change those two. Let's go back to what I mentioned. Let's change it back to this. So, that's what you're solving today. We're trying to go backwards. So we're trying to get it to look like this. So how do we go backwards?
together? Great job. Alright. Seth, tell me my 3 binomials.
X plus 3, x minus 1, x squared plus 9.
Good. Any questions about that x squared plus 9 part? Yes.
So, if it ever has an I,
That
it
means,
always be x squared plus.
yes, it would have to be plus because the square root of, or how do you get I? By taking the square root of a what? Negative number. So anytime you have an I, it'll be x squared plus something.
So you always add it.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the x squared come from?
The x squared comes from, the reason, again, why you have an I is because there's a square root involved, right?
Right.
So let me write it over here. So how would you get 3i? You would have had to take the square root of what? Negative 9, right? Okay. Because the square root of both sides would be x equals what? What's the square root of negative 9? Plus or minus 3i. So x equals negative 3i is what they've given us. Negative 3i. So we're going backwards. So if we have x squared equals negative 9, we're trying to turn it back into a binomial, we'd have to do what? Add 9. So we get x squared plus 9 equals 0. Okay. So let's just bring this one down and we'll fool the rest of it. So Brasida, tell me what I'll get when I fool it. Everybody good so far? Alright. Kaylee, what am I going to get if I clean this up? Perfect. Alright, Hannah, tell me what I'll get if I distribute this x squared to both of these terms. Very good. Rondell, what will I get if I distribute the 2x?
2x cubed and
You got it? 2x times 9?
18x.
Good. Jared, what am I going to get if I distribute the negative 3 to both terms? Keep going. Everybody good so far? What's my first term, Jada? Next one, Dylan?
Plus 2x.
2x. Good. Chloe, next one? Good. Jackson, next one?
37x.
How'd you get 37? Did you make this an x on accident? Or plus 27x? Okay. So from here it'd be what, everybody? And then,
Minus 27.
perfect. Oops.
Where'd you get 2x cubed? I got 3x.
We already distributed the x squared to both terms right here. So this one came from 2x times x squared.
That was on the cube.
Yeah, you keep the 2 and then you add the exponents. 2x cubed. Gotcha. You might have added them. Yes.
Can you explain to me the combining of like terms?
Yeah, they have to be a like term. You have to have the same letter, so x, and the same exponent. So for x to the 4th, are there any other ones that have a 4th power? So we bring it down. For the 3rd, is there any 2 that have a 3rd power? No, just this one, right? So we brought it down. Well, there's 2 x squareds, correct?
Yeah.
So we keep the x squared and just combine their coefficients. So you'd have 9 minus 3. That's going to be what? 6. Alright, any other questions? Alright, we got 2 more. These next 2 are going to be a little tricky, so just stay with me, okay? Alright, question. Have we ever been given a quadratic or a polynomial with an I in it, and I told you to find all zeros? No, right?
No.
Okay, so I'm just stating that if you have an I in your answer, like right here, that it's incorrect. Okay. Alright, for number 4, I'm going to go ahead and work that one out down here, below this one. So let me go ahead and write this one down. 0, negative 5, 3 plus I. Alright, how would we write What would we have to set to 0 in order to get 0?
Okay.
Just x, right? So let's bring that out front. Again, if we set x to 0, we would get what? 0. What would this minus 5 be? Alright, so we've got those two. The 3 plus I is kind of tricky, so stay with me. Alright, let's go backwards. Or let me write this down. For x plus 5, we had to change the sign, correct? Change the sign. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. But we know if we have an I, it's talking about what? A square root. And with a square root, you'll always have plus or minus, right? Okay. Let me write this up here. So the way we're going to write this, and this is anytime we have a binomial with an I in it, this is how we'll write it. I'll just write it on here. We're going to put x, go ahead and write this down, minus 3 plus I. And for the second case, we'll write x minus 3 minus I. So that way if we set these equal to 0 to solve, and I'll write this over here, you don't have to write this down. If I set this equal to 0 to solve, x minus 3 plus I equals 0. To get the x by itself, I'd have to do what? Think of this as one term. If I had to get x by itself, I have to move all of this over, correct? We'd have to add it. Add 3 plus I. So we get x equals 3 plus I, which is one of our roots. If we set this one equal to 0 to solve, x minus 3 minus I, we'd have to add it, right? And we get x equals 3 minus I. So there's our two cases, plus or minus.
You need to do that because of the I.
Yes. The I always has two cases because it's talking about square root. Alright, from here, let's go ahead and multiply these two together, and we'll get to this in just a second. So x times x would be what? X times 5? Okay, let's go ahead and put those in parentheses. Alright, from here, what we're going to do with these two is we're going to distribute this negative to each of these in the binomial. We're going to distribute this negative to each of these in the binomial. Okay, so we'll have x minus 3, correct? Minus what? I. Let's put those in brackets. Same thing here, we're just distributing this negative to these two in this binomial. So it'd be x minus 3 plus I, bracket. Everybody good so far? All I did was just distribute the negative in each one. Alright, now we're going to regroup these. And instead of grouping them 3 plus I, we're going to group the x minus 3 together and leave the imaginary on the outside. Same here, group the real together, imaginary on the outside. And the reason we want to do this is, now we're going to fold this out, these two binomials. And what will happen with the I is it's going to cancel out. Okay, this is what I mean. Let's bring this down, leave it alone, x squared plus 5x. Now let's go ahead and fold this. Okay, so x minus 3 is one term together right here. So if we multiply x minus 3 times x minus 3, we're going to have to fold that, right? So it's a fold inside a fold. Alright, so let's fold x minus 3 times x minus 3. My first terms are going to give me what? My outer terms? Good. My inner terms? Good. My last terms? Good. Alright, so we just did our first terms. That was just our first terms. Our outer terms is going to be x minus 3 times I, correct? Don't write this down. X minus 3 times I. My inside terms are going to be negative I times x minus 3. Does everybody see that those middle terms are going to cancel out? I'll write it over here. Don't write this down. My outer terms will be I times x minus 3, correct? Alright, my inside terms will be negative I, x minus 3. And see, this is itself minus itself, and they would cancel out to 0. Everybody see that? That is why we break them up like this, so the i's will cancel out completely.
So basically, I's are always going to cancel each other out.
Yes, as long as you distribute the negative, then group them in real and imaginary on the outside.
You can't skip skip it and go ahead and take them out, right?
No. Alright, so we did our first, that's right here. Our outer and inner will cancel out, and look at our last term. What is I times I? And then negative 1 times negative 1? No, I'll write it out. Okay. Let's do, this will be minus right here, and then I times I, or I squared. Again, the minus comes from a negative and a positive make a what? Negative. I times I is I squared. We'll simplify it in a second. I'll say that one more time. The negative times a positive makes a negative. I times I will write as I squared. Alright, stay with me. Almost done. Bring down the x squared plus 5x. And let's clean this part up. Do we have any x squareds? Yeah, just one, right? Alright, bring that down. What's negative 3x minus 3x? Good. Now, what is I squared? Do y'all remember? Good. So let's scratch this out and put a negative 1. So what is 9 minus negative 1? Good. Now we can multiply. And y'all know how to do that, but we'll do it together. Alright. Jada, tell me what each of these terms is going to be if I'm multiplying by x squared. Mm-hmm. Minus, I did x squared times x squared, now I'll do x squared times negative 6x. That's going to be what? Good. And then x squared times 10? Good. CJ, tell me what 5x is going to be multiplied by all three of these.
It's going to be 5x cubed
Mm-hmm.
minus 30x squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 50x.
Perfect. Alright, so my x4 comes down first. I have 2x cubed. That's going to make what? Good. Negative x cubed. I have 2x squared. That's going to make what? Negative 20x squared. And then plus 50x. That's it. Alright, I don't think we'll have time to do number 6. But I want you to do it for homework, and I'll check that on Friday along with the 5 problems on Google Classroom, which I'm about to write on the board. Oh, if you have your birthday calling in, don't forget to turn in. Raise your hand if you can't get it on Google Classroom, and I'll send it to you in your mind. Stay up. Yes. Hannah, if you'll come see me right quick. Do you still not have an email? Okay, I'll just have to say it to you. You really need to get that email.
They don't even know how to do it.
I'll keep emailing them. Mm-hmm.